Can you tell us about the song you made for the missing and murdered Aboriginal woman?
Would you like me to talk on this mic or yeah? Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. All right. So, my song "Pray Sister Pray." We did a music video for this song. It's up on YouTube. You could check it out at any time. But this was a song that when everything was rising up, all the information about missing and murdered Aboriginal women across Canada, a lot of people were writing songs, writing music, trying to raise awareness. And for me, I didn't want to do it just to do it. I didn't want people to think that I was trying to monopolize off of something so horrible. So I kind of just waited. And then you see all these articles, when you're on Facebook and you're scrolling around and you see different news articles that people share, and I would see different reports of different girls missing. And for me, I do a lot of touring across Canada. So some of these girls go missing from communities that I've actually been to and places that I've actually visited before. So it started to really hit close to home for me. And there was one particular story, it kept coming up in my feed about one girl who went missing. And this was right around the time when I went to the Juno Awards. This was the year that I actually won my Juno Award. And the morning after, it came up in my Facebook feed that they had actually found her body. And I was really hopeful up to that point that she was going to turn up. And I didn't want her to turn up that way. And they said, and I read the article how they found her body and how she had a little kid. And that morning when I got picked up at the hotel, the lady who was giving me a ride to the airport, she when I got in the car, her little girl was sitting there and she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I couldn't find a babysitter for my girl. Is that okay if she rides with us to the airport?" I said, "Yeah, of course." And this little girl was probably about 3 years old, around there, and she was around the same age as my niece was at that time. And I remember when I got in that car and I just read that article, and I remember just feeling this sudden wave of sadness and fear and anger. And I remember thinking that every time I go around to schools, like how I am here with you guys, or when I go around to Native communities, I always encourage kids, don't be afraid to go out there and explore the world. Chase your dreams, see places you've never been to before. Don't just confine yourself in one little town, one little box, because there's a big world out there and all kinds of people you can meet, all kinds of adventures out there. And this was the first time in my life where I remember thinking, I don't want my niece to leave the reserve. I don't want these other little Native girls to leave their reserves because I'm afraid of what was going to happen to them. And this is the first time I ever felt like I want to discourage people from leaving where they're from. And I remember looking at that little girl beside me, and the lady who was giving me a ride, she was a Native lady, and I looked at her little girl, and I remember feeling so scared for her. Like, I wish I could protect her, but I can't. I wish I could protect my niece. I wish I could protect all these little girls, but I can't. There's nothing I can do about that. And so I started writing this song, and it pretty much just came to me from that moment. And I wrote the song, and I felt like we put it on the album, and I felt like that wasn't enough. There wasn't raising enough awareness because the only people who are going to hear the song are the people who buy my album. But I wanted to do more than that. And so we decided to do this music video, and I applied for several grants within Canada, and I didn't get approved. But this was really important to me. So I dug into my pocket, and I paid for the music video myself. And I went to my reserve, Wikwemekong, to shoot the video. And a lot of people within my community came together to make that music video happen. And I felt like, for me, I wasn't trying to get a song out on the radio. I wasn't trying to get it up on CMT or Much Music or wherever. For me, it was just about having this content on YouTube that could be shared by everybody who wants to share it. And at the beginning of the music video, we give a little bit of education about the background of missing and murdered Aboriginal women. And so that's what it was about for me, was raising awareness, educating people on something they don't know about. Because, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and when you talk about this subject down south in America, they don't know anything about it. They haven't heard about it. They know absolutely anything about it. So that's what it was all about. Was writing the song was just raising awareness. And I feel like me as an entertainer and being in the spotlight, I have a responsibility to do that, to educate people and to continue to raise awareness about issues that are important to me. So yeah, so that was the story behind that song.